Hey, it's Sid, and welcome to my manga haul for June of 2023. I'm going to be starting off with my series that I'm picking up month to month, the series that I'm picking up as they come out. Then I'm going to go over legacy pickups and then my partner's pickups. So let's go ahead and get this started. I'm going to be going kind of reverse order alphabetically. So, first of all, we have Wistoria, Wand and Sword, Volume 4. Then we have Yokohama Station SF, the manga, Volume 1. Then we have Shonen Note, Volume 4. Then Rent a Girlfriend, Volume 19. Last Gender, the final volume, Volume 3. In the Clear Moonlit Dusk, Volume 4. A Condition Called Love, Volume 3. My Dear Agent, the first volume. I think this is going to be 2 volumes, something like that. Tista, the final volume, which is number 2. Then we have One Piece 103. Bit of a spoiler on that cover, but I feel like it's hard to avoid One Piece spoilers nowadays. My Love Mix-Up, Volume 8. This is the semi-final volume. Then we have the debut volume of Like a Butterfly, Volume 1. Creator of Shortcake Cake and something else I don't remember the name of. Oh, Love Me, Love Me Not, I think. Don't quote me on that. Then we have Comey Can't Communicate, Volume 25. Next is Blue Box, Volume 5. Shonen romance without ecchi stuff for once. Then we have the debut volume of Until I Loved Myself by Poppy Pesuyama. This is really sad. So be prepared for that if you want to try that for yourself. Then we have the second volume of Insomniacs After School. Next up, we have the 9th volume of Fist of the North Star, about the halfway point, I think. Then we have Sotus, Volume 2. The Princess of Convenient Plot Devices, another Volume 2. And then we have another new series, The Essence of Being a Muse. This one's only going to be, I think, 3 volumes. It's also a sad one. Picking up a lot of sad series this month. Great for Pride, huh? Next up, we have Dark History of the Reincarnated Villainess, Volume 7. Almost everything of the Villainess I'm going to pick up. Then we have a debut volume of Bloody Sweet, a manhwa. For some reason, that's not under the Ise Press line, but yeah. Then we have another manhwa, The Abandoned Empress, Volume 5. This is another manhwa that never got put under the Ise Press line, so I don't understand the criteria to put it under that line, but who knows. And we have my only Ise Press release for the month, which is The Horizon by the same author as The Boxer. Though it is very different from The Boxer. I didn't like The Boxer. I liked that one. Then we have the 7th volume of Cherry Magic. There's a bit of a spoiler on the cover, so I'm going to cover it just for people who are reading this. And then we have the 3rd volume of Usotoki Rhetoric. Next we have the 3rd volume of Futari Escape, which ended not recently, but the final volume got released fairly recently in Japan. Then we have the 3rd volume of Though I Am an Inept Villainess, the tale of the butterfly rat maiden swap in the body swap in the Maiden Court. Next up we have Polar Bear Cafe Collector's Edition, Volume 2. It had otters in it, which bumps anything up to a 10 for me. If it has an otter, I am going to read it. Next up we have The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today, Volume 6. This anime got announced fairly recently, and its trailer came out. So excited to watch it. I think it's actually coming out this season, or already started coming out. Next we have a manhwa, the basically Chinese version of manga. This is The Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, Volume 2. It's one of the popular Danmei titles, which is the Chinese boys love genre. It's the only one I think that's in manhwa form over here in the West. The others are still only in the novel forms. Then we have a thick volume of Obnoxious Hero-kun. This is the only volume of it. It was a webtoon, I believe, kind of a parody of BL, yaoi, and shoujo tropes. Next up, we have Don't Call It Mystery 1-2 by Yumi Tamura. Yes, that's the name. Very, very acclaimed artist and author. I hope more of her stuff gets moved over here, gets licensed over here, reprints, that sort of stuff, because she's a really great artist and a great author. So anything that her name's on, I'm going to pick up, regardless of what it is. Next up, we have March Comes In Like a Lion by Chika Umino. This finally came out after several delays. I know Denpa and Kuma have a hard time with those types of delays. And then we have 2 more volumes for my regular releases. First off is Persona 5 Comic a la carte, an anthology Persona 5 manga. And then lastly, really fun, I think this was a older shoujo series. This is Minami's Lover by Fantagraphics. Absolutely beautiful collection of it. I think you can kind of see how much detail's put into it just from the cover page here. I don't want to show too much of the art inside, but this was a good read. It was sad, but it was good. It's always good to see older shoujo getting done over here. So next I'm going to be covering my legacy pickups for June of 2023, starting off with Waiting for Spring, Volume 1. Then we have Happiness, Volume 1 by Shuzo Oshimi. And then we have Saint Young Men, the first volume of this one. 2 of these were ones I've been looking out for a while. Waiting for Spring was kind of an impulse purchase. Alright, next up we have Sergeant Frog, Volume 18. I still have not fully cleaned off the spine. With this, I'm only missing, I think, the last volume that's ever published in English, 21. So, really wanting to get my hands on that if I ever can, but I do not want to pay like $30 for it. Next up, we have another Shuzo Oshimi work, Blood on the Tracks, Volume 5. Haven't even started reading this yet, so who knows if I'm going to like it, but I'm probably going to get all Oshimi that I can. So next up we have Total Eclipse of the Eternal Heart. I know absolutely nothing about this, but it looked interesting and it was a 1-volume BL, so why not? Next up we have Cutie Honey A Go-Go, which is I think it's a spin-off of the Cutie Honey series. I've been interested in checking it out for a while, but I probably should check out Cutie Honey first. And then next up we have the final volume of the Chobits Big Fat Dark Horse Omnibus. I don't think I have too much interest in Chobits initially, but I want to collect everything by Clamp at some point, and I'm definitely going to read this. It's just, initially I was kind of iffy on it because it seemed a little bit too, I don't want to say fan servicey, but kind of like more targeted towards the male demographic. It's just preconceived notions I have about it. Next we have The Carp on the Chopping Block Jumps Twice, the sequel to The Corner Mouse Dreams of Cheese, which completes that duology for me, unless there's a third one I don't know about. Next we have the first 2 volumes of Blue Giant, something I've heard a lot of good things about. I want to check it out myself once I get all of them. Next up we have the only volume of Become You by the author of Orange, Ichigo Tagano, I think. Is that the name? Yes, Ichigo Tagano. It's been on hiatus for a while, so I don't know when we're ever going to get another volume. Next up, we have volumes 5 and 6 of The Accomplishments of the Duke's Daughter. This is another Villainess series, and I do very much love Villainess series in general, so I want to pick up all of them that aren't like shonen, or I don't want to pick up ones that are 18 plus because I don't really have too much interest in reading about spicy straight romances. It's just a personal thing. Next up we have My Hero Academia Vigilantes Volume 13. Then we have the final volume of Millennium Snow, Volume 4. I was so happy to finally find this and read it. Don't have any interest in Ouran High School Host Club, but that series, I absolutely loved it. It was a great read. Then we have actually 3 volumes of this one. We have volumes 4, 5, and 6 of E. McCoy, Now I'm in Love, which puts me up to date with the current releases of it. I started reading this at the Barnes & Noble near me, and immediately I was like, well, I have something else I need to start picking up now. Next up, we have, let's see, I think there's, yes, 2 volumes of Dengeki Daisy, 5 and 14, by Kyosuke Motomi, the author of QQ Sweep and Queen's Quality, which are 2 series that I want to check out as well. They're what got me interested in Dengeki Daisy, because I started picking up the QQ series, and I was like, oh, might as well pick up this other series by them. We have another twofer. We have 2 volumes of Candy Color Paradox, volumes 5 and 6. Haven't read this yet. The first volume was a gift to me from my boyfriend for Christmas, so I wanted to complete the series or catch up onto it before I read any of it. Next up, we have 1 volume of Butterflies Flowers, volume 6. Wanting to complete this because I'm only a few volumes away, but those last few volumes have been difficult to find. Then we have Levius Est, Volume 1, which I only picked up because I also found the hardcover Levius, which, to my knowledge, all I know about it is it's a boxing manga, and a lot of people like it, so I'm curious to jump into it. So next up, it's going to be going over my partner's collection for this last month. I kind of trying something new this month and separating them out, because our collections kind of form together, but I like to distinguish between what I typically read and what he typically reads. I will say something if there's some overlap with series that I'll read or that I read on in general. Alright, so I'm going to be starting with the series that he picked up that are currently releasing, the new release series, I should probably start calling it that. First of all, we're going to start with That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Trinity and Tempest, Volume 7. I'm not reading that series. I might at some point. Go-Go Loser Ranger, Volume 5. I am reading this one. He's fallen behind on reading it, but don't tell him I said that. Then we have Homunculus, Volume 1 to 2. I might read this. I'm really not sure. Next up is Killing Stalking, Volume 3. I am reading this one. Then we have Even Dogs Go to Another World, Life in Another World with My Beloved Hound. I might read this if he says it gets good, but he was kind of iffy on the first volume. Next up we have Goodbye Eri. This is one we're both reading. I can't remember if it was... We're alternating on Fujimoto's works, so I can't remember if I bought it or he bought it, but it's both of us for this one. And then we have Bofuri, I Don't Want to Get Hurt, So I'll Max Out My Defense, the manga, Volume 6. And then we have the Complete Prophecy Omnibus. I don't know anything about this series. I don't know if I'll read it or not. Maybe if he says it's good. Then we have Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun, Volume 2. Both of us for sure, but he's the one buying it because he absolutely loves it. Then we have Mission Yozakura Family 5. I'm reading this one. He hasn't started reading it yet, but he's the one who wanted to pick it up and be the one who continued to pay for it. Next up is Freerun Beyond Journey's End 8. This is another one that I'm reading, but it was decided at the beginning that he was going to be the one picking it up. I just decided to start reading it and fell in love with it as well. And with how many series I buy, I think I don't want to alternate with him on series that he's interested in as much, because I already have so many that I need to buy every month. Then we have Yashahime Volume 3. I'm probably going to read this once I get all of and read all of Inuyasha, which I've hit a kind of stopgap at the moment with that. Next up we have Alice in Borderland Volume 6. I started reading this one as well, but I think he's the one still paying for that one. Then we have the third and currently, I think, the final volume of Beast Complex, but Itagaki has said that she wants to continue this series for a long time. I just don't know how often we're going to get volume releases. Lastly, for his new releases, we have Delicious in Dungeon Volume 12, another series that I'm reading as well. Then we have all of his legacy pickups from this month, which starts with Hikaru no Go Volume 3, because he loves the artist and the author, the legendary duo. Oh no, this is just the artist of Death Note. Takeshi Obata. He loves Takeshi Obata and Sugumi Oba. So anything they get, he's going to get. Or anything they put out, he's going to get. Next up's a big one. We've got volumes 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 12, and 13 of Dead Man Wonderland. We saw these used at a bookstore near us, and he picked them up. I don't know if I'll read these or not. I might. I tend to want to read most of the things in my collection because otherwise I feel like I'm just hoarding things. Set these to the side for now. Then we have Hell's Paradise Volume 2. I'm going to read this as well, but he's the one who started really getting proactive with picking it up ever since the anime started. Then we have, let's start with the first volume of Eureka 7, published by Bandai, so this is going to be fun to get the rest of. Then we have volumes 3, 4, and 5 of What Did You Eat Yesterday by Fumi Yoshinaga, the author behind Oku. Some gay cooking stuff, always fun. And then finally, we have another kind of bigger stack that he picked up. He picked up volumes 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of 20th Century Boys and the only volume of 21st Century Boys, so these are hefty. Let me just, I can't really get them in frame that well, but start off with 7 to 11. I'm going to read this too, but he paid for them because he's more interested in them than I am, but I definitely want to check them out at some point. Urasawa, because of Urasawa is so acclaimed at this point that I feel like I have to kind of read his series. But with that in mind, I think that's everything we picked up for June of 2023. I'm going to try and get the reading log out as soon as I can. I know those don't get as many views, but it's fun to talk about my thoughts on each of these books, even if they might be a little bit controversial. But with that in mind, I will see you guys when I see you next, and thank you so much for keeping on watching.